What's up, you guys? Back here with part 3 of the Fokker D7 build. Last night I finished up part 1 and 2, assembling our wings. Here you can see where I finished off the ends with some print paper. And then for the main wing, I went ahead and installed the servo like how I showed you. I also finished that off with print paper, just the very end. Gives it that nice finished look. And then again, I got my dental floss running through here to pull my wires through the hole. I just wanted to give it a quick view of that. Alright, part 3, we're going to jump into assembling the main fuselage. We already got the top and lower wing built. Now we're working on the main fuselage itself. So I went ahead and cut it off the plans, taped it down on a piece of foam board. And always tape your plans on your sheets of foam board long way. Like how I got here, this is where I cut out the bottom wing. I always tape my sheets on long ways. So same with the fuselage. Alright, this is fairly simple. I already went ahead and cut it and scored it. But what I did here is, this just gives you an idea where your battery's going to go. But on the sides of the fuselage, I got score, then V-notch. What I did was I just went ahead and scored them. I'll save the V-notch for later. I went ahead and scored on all the 3 lines on the side of the fuselage. On the bottom of the fuselage, there's only 4 score lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went ahead and scored those. Make sure you don't score the ones in the back. Those are just reference points. Only where it says score and V-notch. So I went ahead and scored all 4 of those. And then I scored the 3 on the left side of the fuselage. So after you score them, then I went back and straight cut all 3 pieces all the way around. Just straight cut the whole piece. Make sure you guys don't cut out where the bottom wing is going to set on here. Don't cut that out. We'll do that in the next step once I assemble the fuselage together. So again, don't cut out for the wing. Same on this side. Alright, so I already went ahead and traced around them and cut them. I just did it off camera. Might be a few pieces stuck here and there. And again, this was just straight cuts. Got a couple of hang-ups here. Now these are the tops of the fuselage. We'll get to those in the next step. There's the back behind the cockpit, then the front. I'll get to those next though. Alright, again, don't throw out on your plans. Like here's what you'd use for your motor mount. So I'll just take that off, throw that to the side for now, since I know I'm going to need that. Alright, so we got the left side, bottom, and right side of our fuselage. Go ahead and clean these up a little bit. Make sure you guys don't throw out where your wing is going to mount. I put these to the side too, because I'm going to use that as a template. So I go ahead and grab both sides of that, throw that to the side. And also you can keep where your control rods are going to come through the side of the fuselage. Again, this is where you're going to cut out for your motor. Again, I always put my plans to the side, all my pieces. Anything useful. Another one. Get rid of some of these plans over here. Alright, so you can see where I scored it now. I'm going to go ahead and break it on those score lines. There's 3 of them. Here's our bottom of our fuselage, which had four score lines. Alright, so now that we got them all 3 cut off, I'm going to take and line up you want to line up all 3 of these score lines here. Just make sure your pieces look correct, which they look good. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and V-notch some of these score lines because we got to get this fuselage to fold upward. As you can see, it's going to come together like this. But this is why I got to V-notch out some of these. And I always cut the V-notch toward the back of the piece, no matter what. Any pieces that I'm ever working on, I'm always cutting toward the back of the plane. I'm just cutting out a 45 on one side of the line we scored. Two more back here. Alright, just like so, guys. So again, I just scored them when I first cut out the pieces. And then I just came back and V-notched them because all this is going to fold up to create our fuselage. Just like so. Now you can, again, I always like to take my little Phillips screwdriver, just run them down these lines. Spread them out a little bit. Alright, now what you want to do is lay the bottom of your fuselage just flat on the surface, and the sides are going to butt right up next to it, just like that. So you can go ahead and line up the sides with the bottom there, just like how I got it. Now, when you get them lined up like how I got them here, you don't want to put a lot of glue in this area, hot glue, because we're going to be cutting out for the bottom wing in that area. So what I'll do is just hit just a couple little spots here. Like I said, it don't take much. I'm going to go ahead and stand it up there. I'm going to give you a reference on the nose of the jet. I like to kind of eyeball the piece as I'm fitting it. Like that right there. You just want to get them to stand up as straight as you can get them. Again, I'm not using a lot of glue in that area. Just a couple of little beads. Go ahead and line it up to match the other side. Again, I just laid the bottom of the fuselage flat on the table, and then push your sides up against it. Just like I got there. Just make sure they're standing up nice and straight. Alright, now we can go ahead start gluing some of this back. Some of this excess glue off here. What I like to do, guys, is just do 2 pieces at a time. You ain't gotta do the whole thing in one shot. I mean, I'll just go in here. And it don't take a lot of foam, a lot of hot glue in these areas. We'll go back from the inside and hit it again too, just to sure it up. I just go a section at a time. Make sure it's nice and straight as you're assembling it. Make sure your sides are nice and straight. Looks good. So I'll go ahead to the next section. This way you can wipe off any excess glue too. As you can see, our fuselage is taking shape. I'll go ahead and hit both sides and close up the back. You always go from the inside and push things into their place. So as you can see, the bottom piece sits in between both sides. Alright, there's the back of the fuselage all glued up. I'll move on to the front here. Again, I just like to go a section at a time, you guys. So it looks like it'll be good right there. Kind of line up this next section just while the other section's cooling. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and hit both sides on the front here. Just line it up like so. Alright, so there's our main fuselage. Fairly simple, guys. If you just follow the plans, score the lines, V-notch them, fold your pieces up, connect them up. Now you can go back and clean up the fuselage real nice. Make sure all your sides are nice and even. Alright, so there's the main part of the fuselage. Now I'm going to get into these two pieces here. This is the front engine cover, front of the fuselage, front of the cockpit. This is behind the cockpit. You can see on the plans, you'll see where it says cut 45 degree angle in. So that means you're going to want to put your knife at a 45 and always cut in toward the piece. Let's go ahead and cut this one out for now. Now don't score and V-notch on this side of the piece. That's just, I'm going to take and cut this piece out, flip it over, and then stick the plan on the other side, and then mark it on the opposite other side of the plan. But for now, let's just go ahead and straight cut these. Or actually, this is a 45. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead and freehand a lot of this. Again, don't score the lines on the top of this piece. I'm going to flip the plan over to the other side and mark it on the bottom side of this piece. Front here is just a straight cut. So this is the front of the fuselage, top, front. Now once you cut it out, so this was the top, just like how we had it when we cut it out of the plans. Now I'm just going to take this piece, flip it over. Let's do away with the sticker. And I want to mark these lines on the back side of this piece. And it's very simple, guys. Just line it up with your plans here. So I want to score these lines on the back side of the piece. It even says score in V-notch, bottom side of piece. Go ahead and mark these back ones. Alright, now I can transfer those lines to the back side of the piece. And this is the side that I'm going to score in V-notch. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So that's how we cut it out. Fairly simple. So now mark the lines on the back side of the piece so I can score and V-notch them. I'm just going to freehand it. Break all three of them. So I'm going to make that shape but in reverse. Let's go ahead and V-notch these out. And I'm going to go ahead and cut a 45 on one side, and if it doesn't give me enough clearance, I'll go ahead and 45 the other side. So I'll just continue to keep cutting out another 45 until I can get this to the shape we need it. And as you can see, I didn't cut off enough. So I'll go ahead and cut a 45 on the opposite side of all the lines. Make sure I get the right side. Just like that, guys. I just cut a V-notch out of all the lines. That way I can bend this piece to the shape I need it. And this will be the front of our fuselage. Now to get that piece to hold that shape that I got right there, what I'll do, just hit it with a couple little hot glue spots from the bottom side here. Reseat it on here and just hold it to that shape that we want. Just make sure it's nice and flush on there. I'll just let that hot glue set up now that I'm holding it to the shape that I wanted. Awesome. Now you can go back and fill them in real nice. I just wanted to give that piece some strength, so I went ahead and filled all three of the score lines, V-notch, hot glue. Just hold the piece so it keeps that shape as the hot glue sets up. There it is, guys. Fits on there perfect. So there I got the front of the top of the fuselage. I'll end up putting my tail stabilizer back here, rudder. Move on to this next piece. And this is the piece that goes behind. This is the back of the fuselage, behind the cockpit here. And again, it's another 45-degree angle cut inward, and we're going to transfer the lines onto the back side of the piece, so don't score them from this side. We'll go ahead and cut on both sides, 45-degree angle in toward the piece. Now I'm just going to go ahead and freehand the rest. See what I missed back here. Alright, again, I'm going to go ahead and transfer the lines. I just cut that piece out like this. All I do is I take that piece, flip it over. I'm going to transfer these lines onto the back side. Just line it up. Transfer them onto here. The same thing with the back. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines I just made, or connect the marks.